Good morning, Claudia. We'll get started here in just a few minutes as more folks join us today. Let me know if you would, please, if you can hear me okay. And also, if you just want to test your mic, I was having some audio issues earlier this morning hearing you guys. So if you want to try to activate your mic, and let me know if you can hear me all right.
Hello, good morning. Yes, I can hear you.
Great, thank you. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Let me know, Claudia, if you have any questions about what we talked about yesterday regarding reported speech. Hopefully, you've had a chance to take a look at some of your own direct questions from last week's activity in your wiki. But let me know if you have any questions about reported speech, what we talked about yesterday. Good morning, Jessica. We'll get started here in just a minute. Hello, Danielle. Good morning. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions from yesterday's discussion on reported speech. Any questions about direct speech versus indirect or reported? Remember that indirect speech and reported speech are the same. Let me know if you have questions. Jamilka, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Today, what I want to do, guys, is give you some practice with reported speech. And then I want to try to allow some time today to do an activity where you are looking and sharing your direct questions from last week from your wiki and your indirect questions that you posed in the paragraph as an assignment that we worked on again last week. I just want to make sure we have enough time on reported speech and give you guys another opportunity to take a look at your own questions, paying close attention to making sure that we're converting the direct question to the indirect question more precisely. All right. So today, what I want to do is I think most of today's class will be in our chat. We'll be working in the chat, and I'm going to post some examples of direct speech. Some will be in the form of a statement, some will be in the form of a question. And your job is to try to convert that statement or that question into an indirect question or reported speech. All right, so let's take a look at the first example. Again, I'm in the chat, so if you want to open up your chat on your device, make sure you're looking in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and post the first example. Now, many of these examples are going to be me speaking, right? So if in those cases, you can refer to me as Benjamin or Ben or teacher Ben or even the pronoun he, right? There are different ways that you can refer to me, but think of you reporting what I say. Okay, so many of the examples will be similar to that. And this first one is me speaking. Okay, so here's the first example. Again, this is an example of a direct speech, and it is, I have time today to eat cake. Okay, so now report what I said. Imagine that you're going to tell someone else what I just said. And I just said, I have time today to eat cake. So how would you post this? Now, when you write it out in the chat, for each one of these examples, I'd like for you to write it out. I'll give you a few minutes or a minute or so. And then I'll ask you to wait, not to post it until I give you the directions to do so, because I want everyone to post at the same time. All right, so go ahead and write out your response. Write out the reported speech for this example. I have time today to eat cake, but do not hit enter, not yet. So I'll give you a minute or so to write out your response. Write out the reported speech for the example, I have time today to eat cake. And again, you're going to report what I say. All right. So hopefully everyone has their response. I'll count down 3, 2, 1. Post your response. All right. He said he had time today to eat cake. Ben stated, I have time to eat cake. So notice the difference between Ben stated quotation marks, I have time to eat cake, and Ben said that he has time to eat cake today. All right. So notice that in reported speech, we want there are different ways of doing it. So here we're seeing different ways to do it. He said that he had time to eat cake. That's a good example. Benjamin said that he has time to eat cake. Now notice in that example, she's using the present tense. Which tense do you think is most appropriate in this case? Okay, so imagine you're even reporting on what I said either today, later today, or maybe tomorrow or the next day. Which verb tense do you think we should use? The present tense or the past tense? Another example, Ben said that he has time to eat cake today. Imagine if you were saying this to someone tomorrow. I said it today on Tuesday, tomorrow on Wednesday. You're telling someone what I said today. Which verb tense do you think would be the most appropriate? The present tense? Here's the scenario. Today, Tuesday, here's what I say. I have time to eat cake today. Now, tomorrow on Wednesday, you're going to report what I said. How would you report it? Imagine you're going to say it tomorrow on Wednesday. And again, feel free to post in the chat, or of course, if you want to unmute your microphone, even better yet, feel free to jump in. Imagine you're going to report what I said on Wednesday, tomorrow. How could you say it? Go ahead and type it into the chat, or if you want to unmute your microphone, feel free to jump in, provide an example. Any ideas? Is that a hard one? Thinking of it in terms of which day you report it. Again, you're going to report it tomorrow on Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. And today on Tuesday, May 12th, I'm going to say, I have time to eat cake today. Tomorrow on Wednesday, how would you report it? What do you think? And go ahead and hit enter if you have a response. Okay, some of you say, one of you says, I think it's better in the past tense. All right, so how would it be? Ben said that he will have time to eat cake on Wednesday. All right. All right. So this is, I know this is a little confusing. So let me provide an example here. All right. So on Tuesday, I say, I have time to eat cake today. What is today? Tuesday, right? For me, right? I'm saying it right now at 9:09 a.m. May 12th. I'm saying, hey, I have time to eat cake today. So tomorrow, fast forward, tomorrow you're going to tell somebody what I just said. You could say something like this. Benjamin said that let's see, I say I have time to eat cake today. So Ben said that he had time to eat cake yesterday, right? Because when you say it, the day you said it is on Wednesday. All right. So you could say Benjamin said that he had time to eat cake yesterday, right? Or you could say on Tuesday. Or you could say last week. If you said it, if you're reporting and you're telling someone else what I said the following week, you could say that he had time to eat cake last week or last Tuesday. Does that make sense? So we're using the adverb of frequency, adverb of yesterday, and we're using the past tense, right? Because we're referring to something that he said in the past, that he had time to eat cake. All right. Let's take a look at another example. All right. So again, here's another example of something that I'm going to say today on Tuesday, May 12th. All right. I'm saying this, and you're going to report. You're going to say this. You're going to report what I said tomorrow on Wednesday. Okay. Just similar to the first example. Okay. So here's the example. This is what I say today on Tuesday. Benny is 3 years older than Oliver. All right. So this is what I'm saying on Tuesday, May 12th. Benny is 3 years older than Oliver. I want you to now report what I said, like you're going to tell someone else what I said, but tomorrow on Wednesday, May 13th. How would you change this to the reported speech? Again, this is me speaking. This is a statement that I said. Benny is 3 years older than Oliver. Now, and I say it today, Tuesday, May 12th. Now, tomorrow on Wednesday is when you're going to report it. You're going to actually now tell someone else what I said. How would you say it? How would you report it in this with this example? And I'll give you a countdown. I'll give you just a few more seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1, enter. Benny said that he is 3 years older than Oliver. Benny said that tomorrow he's going to be 3 years older than Oliver. He said that Benny is 3 years older than Oliver. All right, look at these different examples. Now, I notice not everyone's posting, and don't worry about making mistakes. I mean, the best way to learn the passive voice or learn anything is to put your answers out there. All right, so I encourage everyone to participate, even if it's the same answer as someone else. All right, but notice the different answers here that we're getting. The question here is, do we say Benny said that he is 3 years older, or do we say he, or he is me in this case, and my name is Benjamin, right? So or should we say Benjamin said that Benny is 3 years older? Of course, we can use he also, but which is correct? Should we use Benny said, or should we use Benjamin, or he said? What do you think?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Benny and Benjamin are the same person?
No.
Oh,
Benny is a short name for Benjamin, but in this
mm-hmm.
case, one name would be Benjamin or Ben, and Benny is another person. It's actually my son. So here, in this case, Benny is a short abbreviation. And in this case, since I'm speaking, you usually refer to me either as Benjamin. Some of you call me Ben. Some of you call me Teacher Ben. What else? Those are
Well,
you. I don't think anybody calls me Benny.
well, he said that Benny is 3 years older than Oliver.
Yes, and that's correct. The
Mhm.
question is why should we use he said instead of Benny said? Because some of you answered Benny said. So why he said and not Benny said?
Well, I think it was going to be weird that um, Benjamin called himself Benny. So I don't know.
Right. And I know this is kind of hard to do these examples, right? Because it's not, these are just kind of abstract examples. But for now, many of these examples that we're going to do today, it's like me speaking, right? And we'll do some other examples where it's not me, but just let's kind of assume for now that I'm speaking and that you're basically telling someone else what I'm saying for these examples. Okay, so be careful about the reported speech. Remember that you're reporting on what someone said. So there's a couple of actors involved, right? So who's doing the speaking? In this case, I'm doing the speaking. And in this particular case, I'm talking about two different people, Benny and Oliver. Now, another important point, notice the verb tense. Are we using the present tense or the past tense? Because if we compare this with the first example, we changed it to the past tense. But why do we keep it in the present tense? Benny is 3 years older than Oliver. What do you think?
Uy, un chingo.
Javier, do you have a question? Do you have a response there? What do you think? Why do we keep it in the present tense? Javier, I don't know if you want to say something. If you don't, it's no problem, but I would ask that you mute your mic so that we don't have the background noise. All right, thank you. What do you guys think? Why keep it in the present tense? Feel free to jump in with your microphone if you want, or you can post to the chat.
Because it's something that won't change.
That's
Benny is going to be always older than the other kid.
That's exactly right. You're reporting this tomorrow, right? On Wednesday. But guess what? Benny's still going to be 3 years older than Oliver. If you report this next year and you say, hey, last year, Benjamin said that Benny, all right, it's still going to be Benny is 3 years older, right? Because he's always going to be 3 years older. So sometimes we change it to the past tense. Sometimes we keep it in the present tense only when the idea is still relevant and true in the moment that the person is reporting, right? In this case, tomorrow on Wednesday. All right, very good. Let's look at another example. Now, in this case, this is an example of direct speech, and I'm the speaker. I'm saying this statement. Okay, so this is me speaking. And today's Tuesday, you're going to report again tomorrow, Wednesday. The next day, you're going to report what I said. And here is my statement. The cat is playing with the dog in the yard. Okay, so this is me speaking. The cat is playing with the dog in the yard. Now, tomorrow on Wednesday, you're going to tell someone else what I just said. How would you say it? Go ahead and write out your response in the chat, but do not, please, hit enter until instructed to do so. The cat is playing with the dog in the yard. What do you think? We have 14 participants, 13, not counting me. So hopefully we get 13 replies. We want 13 replies. A few more seconds. The cat is playing with the dog in the yard. And this is on Wednesday. You're going to report this. You're going to tell someone tomorrow on Wednesday what I said today on Tuesday. So I want you to indicate when I said it. Try to indicate when I made this statement. Again, I said it today on Tuesday, May 12th. You're reporting this on Wednesday, May 13th. And I'd like for you to include in your answer when I made this statement. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Benjamin said that the cat and the dog were playing in the yard yesterday. I like that answer. I also like yesterday, comma. Benjamin said that the cat was playing with the dog in the yard, period. Good. Ben said that the cat was playing with the dog in the yard yesterday. Good. Don't forget your periods, and don't. I would like everyone to post publicly to the chat your responses. Your chat, the chat actually is not part of the recording, so if that's an issue, right? But I want us to feel comfortable sharing our responses, sharing the mistakes together as we're all learning together, and we all make mistakes. So I don't want you to be afraid of making mistakes in front of each other. I make mistakes all the time. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are a good thing. Yesterday, comma, Benjamin said that the cat was playing in the with the dog in the yard, period. Excellent. Yeah, no problem. No worries if you accidentally posted privately. Of course, you can send me a private message in the chat if it's needed, but for these responses, please do it publicly since we can all learn from each other. Really good, guys. Great responses here. Ben said that the cat was playing with the dog in the yard. Benjamin said that the cat was playing with the dog yesterday. Right. All good. Good responses. You're getting it. All right. Now, this example is a little different. This is a little different. Now, in this case, this is not me speaking. Okay. So in this example, this is an example of direct speech. Notice that with direct speech, we have, in this case, mom said, comma, quotation marks, clean your room. All right. So this is an example of direct speech. So who's the speaker? Well, mom is the speaker in this case. Now, what do you think? Change this. Oops, I think I accidentally, did I send this privately? Sorry, Kim. Let me try this one more time. Nobody saw this. Here we go. Here we go. Mom said, clean your room. Now, in this case, we have an example of direct speech. This is not me speaking. This is mom speaking. So there may be some variations to the possible answers that you can create, but convert this example of a direct speech to indirect speech. Mom now is the speaker. Now, when did mom say this? Mom said this today, May 12th. When are you going to report it? I would like for you to report it next Tuesday. When's next Tuesday? The 19th. All right. So mom said this, clean your room. She said it on May 12th. You're going to report it a week later on May 19th. Again, there are different possibilities in your responses and your answer. Okay, but remember that mom is the speaker. Mom is the person whom you're going to report. Mom said it May 12th, this Tuesday. You're going to report it next Tuesday, May 19th. So go ahead and write out your response, but do not hit enter yet. I'll give you a few more seconds. Again, you're going to report this next week. Mom said it today, May 12th. You're going to report it next week. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Last week, comma, mom said that I had to clean my room. Very good. Last week, my mom told me to clean my room. Mom said last week that cleaned my room, or that mom said last week that there's something missing between that and cleaned. What do you think? Last week, I said that you should clean your room. That's another possibility. Notice the difference in pronouns. So again, it depends on the context. It depends on to whom you're reporting at the time. All right. And it also just depends on who mom is talking to. Maybe mom talked to all of your brothers and sisters, since your could also be plural. Right? Last week, my mom told me to clean my room. Those are all possibilities. My mom ordered me to clean my room. Very good. So notice the difference in verbs. Notice the different pronouns. And most of these are possible, right? If mom is if she says clean your room and you have 8 brothers and sisters, you might say something like, well, last week mom told us, right, us to clean our room. All right. So when you're writing reported speech, pay close attention to the verbs that you're using. Pay close attention to the pronouns, which most of you are doing well, and make sure that the adverb of frequency is appropriate. A week ago, that's fine too. You could say, a week ago, my mom ordered me to clean my room. A week ago. Yeah. Or last week. Both are acceptable. You could also say what? Last Tuesday, my mom, right? Most of you are putting the adverb at the beginning. You could say, mom told me last week, or mom told me last Tuesday to clean my room. All right. So again, different possibilities with word order. Look at these examples here. Be careful with the pronouns. And let's look at another example. All right, here's an example. Now we're going to go back to me speaking. So here it is. I'm going to say this statement today, Tuesday, May 12th, and you're going to report on what I said. You're going to report it next Tuesday, May 19th. Okay, so you're going to report it a week later. So this is me speaking now. And here's what I say. The sky is clear and there is a lot of wind. So let's fly a kite. The sky is clear and there is a lot of wind. So let's fly a kite. I make this statement today, May 12th. Report on what I said next week, next Tuesday, May 19th. I'll give you a few seconds here. Make sure that you also pay close attention to your adverbs of frequency. If you find a couple of different ways of saying it, feel free to do so. We've got 13 participants listed in today's Zoom. I would like 13 responses, please. 13 responses. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Last week, Ben said that the sky was clear and there was a lot of wind, so he could fly a kite. Very good. That's the only response? The sky is clear. Only one response. Was that a hard one? Is there another way that you could say it? There are many, many different ways you could say this. Last Tuesday, I like that one too. Last Tuesday, Benjamin said that the sky was clear and there was a lot of wind, so we should fly a kite. That's another possibility. Notice the different modal has a different meaning, different pronouns, depends on the context, but they're both correct. Only 2. I'm going to assume because only 2 of you replied that was a difficult one. All right. This is just practice. In order to practice, you have to write out the text. Otherwise, it's not practice. It's not practice watching others post. That's not practice. So please, I want us to practice. Even if what I would do, if you don't want to look at your other response, you don't have to look at your classmate's response, right? Before you post. There we go. They're coming in. Not sure. Okay, so you have a question about the verb tenses. So these here, Ben said, all right, so it was something in the past that the sky was clear. So here in this example, we do need the past tense because it was something that was applying to the past, right? So even though I said it in the present, I said it in the present because I'm in the present and I'm saying it right now. The weather is clear. But because you're reporting on what I said the following week, you have to state in the past that the sky was clear at that time because in that moment, right, it was in the past. And there was a lot of wind. We have to, again, use the past tense because we're referring to the climate or the weather of the past. We're not referring to the weather of the present because, again, it's a week later. It's like you're reporting this, in this case, a week later on May 19th. But everything that I'm saying applies to May 12th. So this is why we have to be careful with the verb tenses, especially in this case, we need the past tense because if we keep this in the present tense, it doesn't make sense because I would be applying the future. I would be saying, hey, let's fly a kite today because the weather next week is clear. You know, it'd be kind of weird, right? So I hope that makes sense here. In this case, he flew the kite, right? There was a lot of wind. The sky was clear. It's all about in the past. So I think it's like this. Last week, Ben said that he should fly a kite because the sky was clear and there was a lot of wind. That's a perfect example too, right? That's acceptable. Changing the order a little bit because you're using the subordinating clause because, right? So that's fine. That's fine. So there's some variations, okay? But with the verb tense, we probably need to use the past tense because of this particular context, okay? All right. Anybody else having issues with verb tenses in this example? Okay, I hope that helps. Again, feel free also, guys, with your questions to activate your microphone, jump in with any questions that you have, all right? You can stop me and interrupt at any time. All right, let's see another example. Now here, we can have a different speaker. Again, let's say, let's choose for dates. Today, this person is going to make this claim today, May 12th. And let's say you're going to report this a month later. A month later. Okay, so again, here is the statement. And today on May 12th, Dad claimed take out the trash, please. This is an example of a direct speech because it's a direct quote, right? And it's a direct statement. He says, Dad claimed, comma, quote, take out the trash, please. All right. Now, he made this claim on May 12th. You're going to report this. You're going to tell someone else what Dad said a month later. And think about how you would report this to someone else a month later. There are several different answers. If you can come up with a couple of possible answers, not just one, feel free to do so because he's making a command. He's actually, this is an imperative. Take out the trash. He's given an order, right? So you can imagine to whom he's given an order. Think about if you want your own situation, right? Or whatever, think of some possible ways that you could answer this question. But you're going to report it a month later, and you need to indicate when Dad made the claim. I'll give you a few more seconds here. We're down to 11 participants. Please feel free to participate. All right, countdown. 3, 2, 1. A month ago, Dad claimed that I should take out the trash. Okay, so the question is, where do we put please? Last month, Dad ordered me to take out the trash. All right, so I notice some of you have not included the word please. Where could you put the word please? Yeah, we're missing the word please. What do you guys think? How could you state this and include the word please? All of your responses are correct, but some of you are missing the word please. Last month, my dad claimed that I should take out the trash, please. Any other options? A month ago, my dad claimed me. All right, I think I would use a different verb there instead of claimed me. Here we don't need the object of the verb. You could just say he claimed. What else could you put, or what other verb could you put there, Chris, in that example? A month ago, my dad. No, be careful, guys, with claimed. We don't want to say claimed me. We could say, well, how else could you say it before I give you the answer? What other alternative could you use? Dad ordered me to please take out the trash. All right, I like that answer. Last month, Dad ordered me, you could even say told me, to please take out the trash. To please take out the trash, I think, is the best way to include the word please. Now, be careful with claimed. He claimed, you could say he claimed. I don't think I would use the word claimed because you could say he ordered, he asked that even though he didn't ask, you could say that he asked. He ordered, he told me to take out the trash, to please take out the trash. A month ago, my dad asked my dad asked me to take out the trash, or to please take out the trash. All right, good. Yes, so asked, and also don't forget to please take out the trash. But what about please? All right, so I would put please. All right, let me write it out here. And some of you have correctly stated this, but just to,
But in that case, we don't need commas when we put, for example, that ordered me to please take out the trash. We don't need commas or.
I think the only comma I would use is after the adverb last month, right? For example, I would say last month, comma, my dad told me to please take out the trash. Here's one way that you can write it. Last month, comma, my dad told me to please take out the trash. All right. So no, I don't think we need any other commas. And notice the position of please. To please take out the trash. Notice I have my dad told me in the past tense, right? Because it's a month later. It was last month. And what else? To please take out the trash. All right. Now, there's other options. You could use different verbs, as many of you have done. You can use, instead of me, you could say, my dad told us to please take out the trash. My dad told you to please take out the trash, depending, right? But yeah. Okay. So does that answer your question? I'm not sure who asked that question, but did that answer your question? Was that Claudia or Fernanda? I don't remember. All right. Any questions, guys, with this example? Nope. All righty then. Nope. Let's go to the next one then. Here is another example. Now, this is me speaking. We're back to me. And let's say, I'm going to make this statement today, May 12th. Let me look at the calendar here. And you're going to make this statement this Friday, May 15th. Okay, so again, I'm going to make the statement. I'm going to make it today, May 12th. You're going to report it. You're going to tell someone else what I said this Friday, May 15th. Here is my statement. We can't go to the movies today. Okay, so I'm making this statement today, May 12th, Tuesday, May 12th. You're going to report this. You're going to tell someone else what I said this Friday, May 15th. What do you think? What do you guys think? We can't go to the movies today. I'm saying this May 12th. You're going to report it on May 15th. Give you a few more seconds. All right, countdown. 3, 2, 1. Enter. Last Tuesday, Benjamin said he couldn't go to the movies that day. Which day would that be? Imagine you're telling your best friend on Friday and you're using that day. Ben told me that he could not go to the movies last Tuesday. Ben told me that he could not go to the movies last Tuesday. Good. I like that. Last Tuesday, Ben said he couldn't go to the movies. Last Tuesday, he said that he couldn't go to the movies. All right. That's an interesting response. Grammatically, it's correct. But what's the difference in meaning? And it's a possible answer, but what's the difference in meaning between saying last Tuesday Ben said that he couldn't go to the movies versus last Tuesday Benjamin said that he couldn't go to the movies last Tuesday? What's the difference between the meanings? Benjamin said he couldn't go to the movies last Tuesday. The other day, he said that he couldn't go to the movies that day. All right. So imagine this, Jessica, if you're saying this on Friday, the other day, he said, or Benjamin said, that he couldn't go to the movies that day. Do you think it will be clear which day we're talking about? Right? I think in most cases, you're probably going to want to indicate the day, right? And I go back to my original question here. What's the difference between saying, I lost it here. Last Tuesday, Ben said he couldn't go to the movies. Yeah, this one. Last Tuesday, Ben said he couldn't go to the movies. I'm going to post this here. What does this mean exactly? It's grammatically correct. Nothing wrong with the sentence, grammatically speaking. But what does it mean? What's the difference between saying that and saying this? Ben said that he could not go to the movies last Tuesday. The question is, in this first example, last Tuesday, let me put it back in here. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to ask a question here. Which day can Ben not go to? That it doesn't specifically state which day he couldn't go. That's exactly right. Now, maybe that is the meaning, maybe. But if I say, what was the original now? Let me double check here. We can't go to the movies today. I am being very specific, right? I'm actually saying today, on Tuesday, we can't go to the movies today. So when you're reporting this, you need to report in a way that it makes it clear that the day that we can't go to the movies, or we couldn't go to the movies in the past, is on Tuesday. All right, so just be careful with the use of the adverb of frequency. When you say last Tuesday, Benjamin said that he could not go to the movies. Maybe he couldn't go on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, or that whole week he couldn't go. There's no indication. All right, so be careful when you're converting your direct question to your indirect. And this, I think, is important to go back when you guys are looking at your own direct questions that you created last week in your wiki. And when you compare those direct questions from the wiki to the indirect questions that you posted in green font, in green color font, that you are directly converting both of those types of questions, word for word, right? If you, whatever words you used in the direct question, make sure that you include those words, but in the indirect form, in the indirect speech form in the paragraph. All right. So I hope today with this practice that this helped. And I noticed some of you didn't participate today, and I just want to make sure that you're able to participate or you don't have questions about what we're doing. And so please make sure that you're reaching out if you're having issues or questions about what we're doing in class. Tomorrow, I want to give you guys time to convert your own questions that were in your wiki to your paragraph. Okay, I want to make sure there are no questions about how to apply what we're doing today with this practice, how to apply it to last week's activity. And then tomorrow we'll also spend about half the day going into our next concept. We're going to conduct another interview this week. I'll get into that tomorrow. But today I want to make sure, are there any questions, guys, about indirect or direct speech or any of the examples that we talked about today? The question is, there was a question posted here. Do we need to say the day even if we already said it at the beginning? Here's the thing. If you say it at the beginning, you can say, you could say that what I would probably do is not say it at the beginning, right? I would just say it later on. Ben said that he could not go to the movies last Tuesday. You could, it would be a little bit awkward if you said last Tuesday, Ben said he could not go to the movies that same day. You could say that to emphasize, right, that you're talking about that same day in terms of when he couldn't go to the movies. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kim, for that message. And so, yeah, so I think if you just say the date at the beginning, again, you're leaving it open to the immediate future, right? To say last Tuesday, Ben said that he couldn't go to the movies. We don't know it's going to be obvious maybe within the context. It depends on who said what before. So we have to look at the discourse and we have to look at the whole conversation. And so right now we're just looking at examples in isolation. So just to make it really clear that there are different ways. And so I want you guys to look at this example of saying last Tuesday, Ben said he couldn't go to the movies, that could also mean that he couldn't go to the movies for the rest of the week or the rest of the month or the rest of the year, depending on, again, the situation. The question about changing the wiki, it's not necessary that you change the wiki. I want you to refer to the wiki, and tomorrow I'm going to ask that you upload in a forum your example questions, your direct questions and your indirect questions. But as far as an assignment, there's nothing more to do in last week's assignment. We'll do an activity this week, a couple of activities. But we're going to be in week 12, and all of the activities for week 12 for this week will be found in the tab in the virtual classroom for this week. Okay, so again, you can refer to last week's assignment to get the information and apply it to this week's activity. Again, we'll probably work in a forum tomorrow, but I'll give you instructions tomorrow in class. I'll give you time in class to do the activity. But I do want you to take a look this week, as we've been talking about reported speech, to go back and compare, because one of the things I noticed in last week's assignment was that how we were converting the direct question from our interview guide or from our wiki, how we were converting that to our reported or indirect question that we basically converted in the paragraph. And I think for most of us, I think we can zero in, get and focus more on trying to convert word for word all the aspects, all the words that we had in each of those questions. Make sure we use all of those, but one of them is going to be in the direct form, and the other version is going to be in the indirect form. So, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? All right. So we'll stop there for today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow we'll continue with this activity. We'll also introduce facts versus opinions. That will be our concept for the remainder of this week. And I'll go into detail tomorrow about our activities for the rest of the week. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Right. Thank